World War II's Eastern Front was like the ultimate playground for tank warfare. Picture vast battlefields stretching from the dense forests of Belarus to the icy plains of Russia, where two different tank philosophies went head-to-head, each showcasing the strengths and strategies of their nations. German design. Quality over quantity. On one side, you had the Germans, known for their incredible engineering skills. They focused on building tanks that were powerful and high-tech, aiming for battlefield dominance. The Panzer IV became a key player for the Germans, but their masterpieces were the Panther and Tiger tanks. The Panther was a marvel with its sloped armor, powerful 75mm gun, and top-notch optics, designed specifically to take on the Soviet T-34. On the other hand, the Tiger I was a beast, armed with an 88mm gun that could take down enemy tanks from a distance, all while being heavily armored. But these incredible machines had a catch. They were expensive and took a long time to produce, needing highly skilled workers for maintenance. This meant that while a few Panthers or Tigers could dominate a battlefield, their limited numbers made them vulnerable. Soviet design, quantity over quality. Then there were the Soviets. Faced with a dire threat, they took a different route, crafting tanks that could be made quickly and repaired easily, flooding the battlefield with sheer numbers. The T-34 was their star player. With sloped armor, a powerful gun, and wide tracks, it was built to handle the challenging terrains of the Eastern Front. The Soviets also had heavy tanks like the KV-1, which was nearly invincible early in the war. But it was slower and faced mechanical troubles, leading to its phase-out for more advanced T-34s and the IS series. The Soviet design philosophy prevailed through speed and volume. They ensured their tanks were simple, tough, and could be churned out in massive quantities from factories located east of the Urals. Even though early models had some rough edges, like basic construction and uncomfortable crew conditions, these issues weren't as important in the grind of warfare. What mattered was the ability to keep replacing lost tanks. The clash of philosophies in battle. When it came to battle, these differing philosophies shaped their tactics. The Germans excelled at precision strikes, using superior optics and coordination to take out enemies from a distance. This shone through in significant battles like Kursk, where they inflicted heavy losses on Soviet forces. But the Soviets, with their determination and numbers, eventually turned the tide. Soviet tanks relied on overwhelming assaults. They could produce and deploy tanks faster than the Germans could destroy them. The year Battle of Prokhorovka, one of the largest tank clashes ever, illustrated this concept. Even if they lost many tanks, they kept pushing forward, something the Germans couldn't sustain. The lasting legacy of German and Soviet tank designs. As the war progressed, the balance shifted dramatically. Upgraded T-34/85 tanks with improved guns and the heavy IS-2 began challenging German forces. On the flip side, Germany faced logistical nightmares and dwindling resources, severely hampering their armored units. The legacy of these tank designs from World War II is monumental. German engineering influenced post-war Western tanks, leading to models like the Leopard 1 and 2. Meanwhile, Soviet design principles continued through the T-54/55 and T-72, which became staples in many armies around the world. Today, modern tank designs take cues from both philosophies. Western tanks like the M1 Abrams and Leopard 2 emphasize technology and protection, while Russian tanks, like the T-90, still uphold the Soviet tradition of mass production and practicality. Conclusion. In the end, the clash between German quality and Soviet quantity defined the Eastern Front and forever changed armored warfare. Each side had its strengths and weaknesses, but in the harsh reality of total war, the Soviet ability to outproduce and outlast ultimately proved decisive. It's a fascinating story of strategy, innovation, and the brutal lessons learned on the battlefield.